Hello dear students, how are you? I hope all of you are fine, isn't it? So, in the chapter Diversity in Living Organisms, we have already started 5 kingdom system, importance of classification in the biodiversity world. At the same time, what remaining important parts are. We have discussed about different characteristics of organisms and how they have to classify. Whitaker in 1969, how he has classified all these organisms into 5 kingdom system, and almost all the ambiguities regarding classification were over in 1969, and then accordingly classification system has started. In next lecture we have seen about classification of cryptogams, and in cryptogams we have seen there are Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. Their characteristics we have seen. Crypto means hidden gametes, that meaning of that concept I have made you understood. Now we are going to see about diversity in living organisms part 3rd, that is Phanerogams. What are these phanerogams? Where gametes can be seen by naked eyes. There is a presence of seeds in this regarding. So here I go for diversity in living organisms, phanerogams, in which we are going to see about gymnosperms and angiosperms. Okay, so I hope you will understand this. Let us start with. So here, diversity in living organism part 3rd I am starting. It starts with the phanerogams. We have seen about cryptogams, hidden gametes, phanerogams. Here seeds are developed. What are the characteristics of the phanerogams? There are developed seeds and well formed stem, leaves and roots. We have seen during the course of evolution, first of all, algae, that is Thallophyta, have come on the earth, and then they were residing in the water. Bryophytes, they were on the banks of the rivers or wherever shady places or wet places were there. For both these Thallophyta and Bryophyta, there is a requirement of water for reproduction. So these plants are primitive in nature. Primitive means which come first on the earth. They are called as a primitive. Whereas the organisms which came later on, so terrestrial plants, for example. So these terrestrial plants shows there is a requirement of conduction system. So pteridophytes onwards, there is a conduction system. Conduction of water and conduction of food is required as far as these plants are concerned, which are living on the terrestrial or which are living on the land, which are away from the water. So water which is absorbed from the ground, water which is absorbed from the soil, it need to be transported, it need to be conducted. So transportation system is required. So pteridophytes. So if you see the sequence, Thallophyta, that is algae, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, gymnosperms and angiosperms. These are the 5 groups of kingdom planting, in which Thallophyta and Bryophyta doesn't have conduction system, that is stem, leaves. Bryophyta and Thallophyta, they doesn't require because they are residing in the water. But Pteridophyta onwards, this conduction system has developed. So what this conduction system, where this conduction system is present, it is present in the stem and leaves. So here conduction system is present in these phanerogams, which includes gymnosperms and angiosperms. So division phanerogams, here classification system, once again I will show you. Plant kingdom, which is classified into cryptogams and phanerogams. Cryptogams were divided, classified into Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. Now these phanerogams are divided into two groups, gymnosperms and angiosperms. Gymno means naked. Gymno means naked. Gymno means the seeds which are not enclosed in the fruit. Okay, the seeds directly we can see with naked eyes, that is called as a gymnosperms. Whereas angiosperms, where seeds are enclosed inside the fruit. These seeds are enclosed inside the fruit because they need to be protected. They need to be protected. Angiosperms are also called as a flowering plants. So examples of gymnosperms I will show you here with the help of these figures. You can see conifers, pinus, cycas. These are the examples of gymnosperms. So these all plants you might have seen. Coniferous plants, we also call it as a monkey puzzle plant. Okay, pinus, you can see, even Christmas tree you might have seen. So these are the plants which comes under the gymnosperms. Even casuarina is the plant in our school near volleyball ground. Whatever these casuarina plants are there, these casuarina plants comes under the gymnosperm. Okay, so these, if you see their cones, these seeds are open. There is no fruit formation, but with the help of these seeds, reproduction or continuity of life is possible. Cycas plant you might have seen in many botanical gardens wherever senior colleges are there. Possibly the cycas plants are planted for the study of botany students. So this cycas plant is also an example of gymnosperms. Then some other examples are also there for gymnosperms. For example, here once again pinus is shown, coniferous are shown, cycas. Cycas is also example you might have seen, and casuarina, just now I told you, this plant casuarina is present near our volleyball ground. When you play volleyball near principal bungalow in our school, these plants are available, you might have seen. Even you might have seen the same type of coniferous plants near our infirmary in our school, where basketball ground is there. Near infirmary, these bushes are there. These plants are also gymnosperms because they also have cones. So you should be keen observer while classifying the plants. You should be keen observer, and you should see how these seeds are there, why these plants are not having flowers. If the plants are not having flowers, then how they reproduce. If the plants are not having flowers, then what about their continuity of life? What is the method of propagation for certain types of plants? All these information you should collect when you are rendering, when you are going for trips, when you are going for field visits. At that time you must know about these characteristics. You must try to understand about these characteristics. So gymnosperms characteristics is bare naked seeds. They are usually perennial and woody. They are perennial means perennial, annual, biennial and perennial. Okay, these are the three types of plants. Annual means the plants which complete their life cycle in 1 year. They are called as annual. Biennial, which complete their cycle in more than 1 year, they are called as a biennial. And perennial means for several years they continue their life cycle. So these gymnosperms are perennial. So once if you visit Uttarakhand side of our country, then the gymnosperms are present over there. 400-500 years old gymnosperms are present in that conifers are present in that jungles. So if you happen to visit, you can see that, and you can watch how woody, very hard wood is present, and that wood is used for preparation of furnitures which are very long durable. So these are woody plants and having naked seeds. This is the characteristic. Conduction system is very well developed, and they are very heighted plants. These are very heighted plants. Now it comes to the after gymnosperm, it comes to the angiosperms. See, this is a sequence of evolution. So angiosperms came very late on the earth. Initially came? So initially Thallophyta came. Then from Thallophyta Bryophyta evolved. From Bryophyta Pteridophyta evolved. And then from Pteridophyta gymnosperms evolved. and finally angiosperms have evolved. So if you see the movies, while preparing movies also, these directors are taking very much care about this background of the movies. How it is, you might have watched Jurassic Park. In Jurassic age, when dinosaurs were there, in that age there were no angiosperms. Try to understand, there were no angiosperms, and throughout that movie director have not shown any flowering plant. Director has shown all the gymnosperms in the background. All the gymnosperms were present during Jurassic era. So see, for making movie also, very keen observations were made by these Hollywood directors, and they have kept the same type of plants which were present during that era, isn't it? So these were gymnosperms, and from gymnosperms then angiosperms have evolved. What are the characteristics of angiosperms? These are highly evolved plants, okay, bear flowers and fruits with seeds. So angiosperms bear flowers. So all the flowering plants will be considered, all the flowering plants will be known as a angiosperm. From these flowers there is a production of fruits, and inside these flowers there is a ovary in which ovules are present. They bear seeds. Here one example is shown as a flower, see, and here a red part is shown. It is called as a ovary. I can show you, just a minute. So this is a ovary, okay, and in this ovary, whatever these black color are shown, they are seeds, and these seeds, these are actually ovules, and these ovules further get converted into seeds. So this was about angiosperms. Divisions of angiosperms are further divided into monocot and dicot. So angiosperms further divided into monocot and dicot. So you can see here monocot and dicot, these are the two divisions of angiosperms, okay. So what is meant by this monocot and what is meant by this dicot? Monocot and dicot, these are the two divisions based on number of cotyledons present in the seeds. So what is this cotyledons actually? This cotyledons means when you are breaking the seed, for example, you might have broken groundnut, you might have broken gram. What happens during that time? It is getting broken into two parts, equal parts, two halves. So that halves are called as a cotyledons. In case of maize, if you try to break this maize, what will happen? Only one part will be there. There is no equal two parts. So this is also called as a cotyledon. So monocot means single cotyledon, and dicot means two cotyledons. If single cotyledon is present, then these angiospermic plants which bear flowers, which bear seeds, these plants will be kept in the class monocot if there is only one cotyledon. If there are two cotyledons, then it will be put in the dicotyledons. Now how to identify this monocot and dicot? For example, if you ask me, sir, sugarcane doesn't have seeds, so how we will classify sugarcane but it have flowers? So how we will classify sugarcane into monocot and dicot? Question is correct. Hibiscus plant, it bear flowers, it doesn't, we have never seen seeds of hibiscus. Then how to understand, how to identify whether hibiscus is monocot or dicot? Question is right. Bamboo plant, we never seen seeds of bamboo plant. Then how to classify bamboo plant whether it is monocotyledon or dicotyledon? Question is absolutely right. So here I am going to give some tricks to you. You just observe two plants, any of the two plants. One is monocot and one should be dicot, based on their characteristics. How to identify, I told you, on the basis of cotyledon. For example, we will take bajra, or we will take wheat, or we can take jawar plant. All these plants are monocot, right? Agree with me? Then we will take another plant, for example gram. We can take another plant like mango. We can take some other plant which represent dicot. As some other plants you can for example mung, or you can take any of the other plant, whichever is convenient for you to watch. Accordingly you can select dicot plant. What will happen if you see this both the plants? Monocotyledonous plants are having adventitious root system. They are having adventitious root system. Roots from one point, for example onion, from one point all these roots, fibrous roots have come, so that is called as adventitious root system. If you observe dicot plants, if you uproot gram plant, if you uproot any other dicot plant, like we have taken initially मूंगफली का प्लांट अगर आपने अप्रूट किया, ओके, या फिर हिबिस्कस का प्लांट इन अर्ली स्टेज, इफ यू कैन अप्रूट इट, व्हाट विल हैपन? देयर इज अ presence of taproot system. There is one main root, and to that main root there are sub roots present over. Just now here it is shown in this, that is, this is called as a taproot system. This type of root system is called as a taproot system. Here it is a adventitious type of root system. From one point many roots have come, and here there is a main root in dicot, and accordingly. So this is monocot and this is dicot. Okay, taproot system. Now next question will obviously come from your side, that sir, how to uproot all the time all the plants, and how to understand whether it is monocot or dicot. For example, now if I wanted to understand whether coconut is monocot or dicot, there should I uproot coconut plant or what? Okay, no problem. Next characteristic we will see. Okay, so if you see, initially I told you to take bajra. So if bajra, jawar, wheat, okay, bamboo, sugarcane, all they are having adventitious root system. But next character we will see, that is, there is a presence of nodes and internodes on the monocot plants. There is a presence of nodes and internodes on monocot plants. What is meant by nodes and internodes? You all are knowing about it. So this is suppose plant, and then nodes and internodes are present on that plant. So all these plants, for example bajra, jawar, wheat, okay, these are all are having maize, these all are having nodes and internodes. Whereas if you see dicot plants, for example mango, it doesn't have nodes and internodes, but branches are there. In monocot, branches are not there. Have you seen bajra have branches, or maize are having branches? Okay, from one point they may come some different stems, but they doesn't have bifurcation on the plant. Okay, coconut tree is having branches. Have you seen here? So these dicots are having branches, whereas monocots are not having branches. Dicot doesn't have nodes and internodes, but dicots have, dicotyledons are having branches. So such type of branching pattern is observed in case of dicotyledonous plants. Okay, next characteristic, if we try to understand, then there is a presence of leaf system. Leaf system which is present is different. Leaf system have parallel venation in case of monocots. Okay, leaf system is having parallel venation in case of monocots, whereas reticulate venation is present in dicot plants. Reticulate venation is present in the dicot plants. So reticulate venation means there is a midrib, and from midrib sub veins are spread, whereas in parallel venation from one point only all the veins have come. So you can observe in monocots, for example maize plant, how these systems or how this venation formation is there. When you will try physically, you can observe it. Then In case of dicot, I told you there is a reticulate venation. वो पत्ता हम अगर फॉर एग्जांपल पीपल प्लांट, उसका पत्ता हमने अगर बुक में रख दिया तो उसके बाद उसका इंटरनल पार्ट जाने के बाद जिस तरह से वो जाली तैयार होती है उसको क्या बोलते हैं हम, रेटिकुलेट टाइप ऑफ वेनेशन. इन डाइकॉट इट इज देयर. So these all are the certain characteristics with the help of which we can classify angiosperms into two categories, that is monocotyledonous plants and dicotyledonous plants. Now you can take any example, any plant, and you can classify without seeing its seeds, without seeing its flowers. You can see and we can classify this. Even some more characteristics are there. For example, monocot are having trimerous flowers. Okay, that flower is having 3 petals or 3 sepals. Dicotyledonous plants mostly they are having 5, that is pentamerous flowers. Okay, so all these are the characteristics of monocotyledonous plants as well as dicotyledonous plants, and by observing any of the character you can classify these plants into monocotyledonous plants either or dicotyledonous plants, and accordingly you can understand. So one activity I am giving to you, you have to find out, you have to collect certain leaves from your garden, and from that you have to classify that plant into monocot and dicot. You have to collect these leaves, you have to arrange them on the paper saying monocotyledonous type of plants leaves, and on other paper you have to keep dicotyledonous type of plants leaves, and you have to take snaps of that both the sheets, and you have to WhatsApp me on my number. Okay, this very simple activity I have given you today, and with the help of this you can classify monocots and dicots. Even how many plants like pteridophytes, how many gymnosperm and how many angiosperms are present in your locality, in around your house. You cannot go outside, but now nearby your house, after going on terrace or after going in the veranda, you can watch certain types of plants. So from that you try to find out different groups of plants and just try to take snaps of it, and saying just tagging them as a monocot, dicot or angiosperm or gymnosperm or pteridophyte. Such type of tagging can be given, and you can send me that snaps on my WhatsApp number. I'll check whether how much concept is understood to you, and accordingly I will revert you back. Okay, so in next lecture we will discuss about kingdom Animalia. For now I will stop here. Tomorrow I will upload about kingdom Animalia. So if you have some doubts in this part, if you have some doubts in this lecture, you can send me reply. I will try to explain you, I will try to make you understand which type of characters you have, meanings of the characteristics. If you didn't understand, I will try to make you understand all these characteristics. Till the time we will stop here. Okay, so have a good day and complete the homework in time. Thank you very much. Next period we are going to see about kingdom Animalia, so be prepared for that lecture also again, so that you will get thorough idea. Use better use of this time, quarantine time, because we are going to get very less time in our regular schedule to understand all these concepts. So don't forget to reply, don't forget to revert. Whatever homeworks are given, you should complete it in time. Thank you very much once again.